Hello and welcome to day 13 of 21 Days of Presence. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, right now, today, we're in the middle of feeling some pretty intense opposition energies between planets. We've got that Venus opposite Uranus. That was exact yesterday. And tomorrow is Mercury opposite Neptune. So again, we're having some more of this kind of crossroads feelings, or this feeling. Oppositions have this feeling of there's tension, and then the planets come, and then when they're directly opposite each other, there's this release of understanding and mutual reception and kind of learning and teaching from each other. So, but they're also draw out the qualities of each other in a very amplifying way. And so Venus is now in Scorpio, and it is in its retrograde shadow. It starts its retrograde on October 5th. It will be in retrograde for 5 weeks, and I'll be doing a video on that because it's very significant, especially if you have any planets at the end degrees of Libra in your chart or in Scorpio, because Venus will be going over them multiple times. And so this Venus, we talked about this. This is our self-worth. This is our ability to receive. It is our inner gifts, and whether or not we can access our inner gifts and claim the life that we want. And Venus is also what we love, what we care about, our value system. And it's all up for review as we come into this Venus retrograde season. It's pretty potent because when Mars was retrograde, we also had Mercury retrograde, Saturn retrograde, but now those planets are direct, and Venus is kind of hanging out there and really giving us some powerful messages about being able to get out of the crossroads and move into some sort of path, some sort of forward motion. And it won't be until close to the end of the year in November when she comes out of her retrograde shadow. So we've got a couple of months of this Venus retrograde coming up, and part of the powerful energy of this Venus retrograde is that she makes 3 oppositions to Uranus. And here she is in her first opposition to Uranus. Now, isn't it interesting that Venus and Mars are still in a square? Okay, so we still got our raw desires to take action and make change in the world, and what really makes us happy and feel good are at odds. And so this is interesting because it kind of brings to light what a lot of light workers go through, and a distortion in the soul groups that we're talking about around service and sacrifice. And it's kind of like this energy of you're at odds with yourself because you are wanting, is what you feel like you should do in alignment with what you really want to do, or what you really want to be or express or experience in this lifetime. And so that Venus Mars is kind of bringing forward a dichotomy within the self, and where is our outward action in the world not in alignment with our inner value system? And isn't that kind of the whole issue on the whole planet? We have to go and we have to do all these things to survive, and yet we're these big spiritual beings, and we're here to have a spiritual evolution. And what's happening right now is we're breaking free from these chains of control energies on our planet from the very beginning of this evolution. And we are claiming our right to have our spiritual evolution. And that's what timelines are trying to land, is the ones where your heart is completely in it. And what does it look like to get up and go to work, to a job where you're just like on fire and passionate about what you want to create there, and it's in alignment with what you really care about in your value system. And this is like what keeps so many people depressed in this world, because they have all of this inside of themselves, their true gifts and worth, like the Venus energy, and yet they have to play the game of this outside world, and they can't actually have their life to themselves. This is the slavery that we're in. And we are having opportunities where, humanity's, it's like the energies on the planet are changing, and we're breaking free. The energies are coming in, and you guys are here to lead the way in that. And so for the Lightworker souls, this next couple of months is very crucial, because it's this like inner attunement in this timeline adjustment, so that you can get on that most appropriate timeline, but resolve everything within your being, everywhere you've given away your power, and everywhere you think that you need to do something else for the structures of those control energies or for other people, before you take care of yourself. And so there's a lot at stake here for especially these activating soul groups. Now, tomorrow we have this Mercury opposite Neptune, and that has to do with, we just had the sun and the moon opposite Neptune in this last new moon in Virgo. And now we're having Mercury. Mercury will be coming up with the sun and for this next full moon. But right now, Mercury's in an opposition to Neptune and visiting that placement that the sun and the moon were at for this last new moon. Now, and so Mercury is our day-to-day understanding, our information, how we make sense of things. And Neptune can represent delusions. And so it can be a time where you can either get caught up in energies of, just kind of deep into the rabbit hole of what's true and what's real, and starting to see, part of the weird thing about this Neptune energy in Pisces that we're going through right now, and when it gets triggered, is that we'll go through periods of time where we open up to a truth, and then it makes us feel like it's so fantastical, or it's just not, it can't be true. And we go deeper into it, and then we have to face the truths that are uncomfortable. And this might be in our own psyche or in the world. But, Mercury is like, okay, let's get some organization here going on. Let's understand, especially at home in Virgo, it wants to understand these deeper truths, these deeper spiritual truths, and sort out what's true and what's not true in our psyche and our own delusions. But a lot of people get so confused in that delusion state that they just shut the door on it. And that's kind of the problems that got us into the whole Piscean age. And it's like, okay, well, we'll just let the religious authorities tell us, what's true and what's not true. And it's really important right now that we find some sense of inner truth as we go through this really potent, powerfully activating time. And so with these planetary oppositions, we are looking at, just everything in our life, especially with Venus activated, getting ready for this retrograde, of whether or not it's in alignment with the greater whole. But do we even have access to the greater whole? Because beyond the delusions of Neptune is that spiritual connection. And Mercury is not afraid to go into the constructs of the mind and try to make sense of things and try to communicate those things. And so we have a huge opportunity for realizations of truth and reaching out beyond the delusions and claiming that spiritual connection. So it's almost like the powers, the energies out there of control have made it so murky that you just don't even want to know what's out there, and you don't even want to seek beyond. It's like we're in a cage. And so this Mercury opposite Neptune is giving us an opportunity to peek outside of that cage and to claim the wider, bigger, deeper truth, which is that we are consciousness. We are God. We are creator in a body, manifested in this plane, having this grand experiment, but also being kept from the truth of who we are. And so there's this huge opportunity with this dichotomy within ourselves, with this Mars, Venus. Venus is opposite Mercury. Now, isn't it interesting that Mars during its retrograde had 3 squares with Uranus? And now Venus in its retrograde is going to have 3 oppositions with Uranus. Uranus is a ruling planet of Aquarius. So everything right now, and it wants to bring in information, higher information. It's the higher vibration of Mercury, understanding those higher concepts or different concepts outside of this reality, or higher knowledge, ancient knowledge, knowledge and just kind of intuition and synchronicities, information coming in. So there's a lot of opportunity for information coming in about your bigger, truer self and what your soul needs are according to that. And that's a lot what these Venus opposite Uranus situations are about. And so that's going to flavor these next few months. And here we are just entering in to this energy. And it's just bringing us more of this feeling of being at a crossroads. But remember, today's the 13, 1 and 3 added up in numerology is 4. And remember what we're really doing here, especially we're still in this exact Saturn trine Uranus. And that is about building a new world and bringing the light down here with us rather than going out and seeking it outside of this plane and meditating. And that's great and everything, but and beautiful and important. But what we're really here to do is spiritualize the physical and bring this energy to the earth and be hosts for this energy in our body, the true spiritual light. So let's go ahead and tap into this energy of this building this new world, of incarnating our light and incarnating the light of spirit, of source, of creator on the planet right here, right now. So go ahead and just feel yourself arrive in this now moment. Just taking a few deep breaths. And just notice whatever you notice in your body. We've just recently got some huge energetic upgrades in the electromagnetic field of the planet. So a lot of people are having physical symptoms or strange things, either needing lots of sleep or can't sleep at all. And we're still in this detox period of time from that Mars retrograde in the physical body. And so just pay attention to your body. Your body is not spirit, but we're making it spirit. It is spirit because it includes spirit. And this is kind of the illusion that we've been living in, is that our physical world is just physical. And that we're just going to live here and die here, and that's it. And it's like, no, we're so much more. And we represent the light of truth and bringing it. We can't go up anywhere out of this realm until we complete this process. And that's how a lot of light workers are feeling too. Like, can we get on with this? What is the point? And it's like, no, this is the point. And it's like kind of a little bit of a rocky road right now, but it's because we're landing the true consciousness here on the planet. And each of us playing host to this love and that brings us outside of the control matrix, outside of the prison. So let's just do this right here, right now. And just paying attention to the base of your spine, allowing yourself to just relax and release and come into communication with Mother Earth. And just have a huge, big, deep breath and a big sigh of relief, just remembering. And just remind yourself of this throughout the day, that Mother Earth is like here more than ever before in her consciousness, available to catch us and hold us and be with us on this journey. And just kind of feel yourself sink in and feel safe and whole and complete. Enjoying this field you've been creating. If you've caught these meditations each day, we're building to this field of peace and presence that we can visit throughout the day to remind ourselves. And Mother Earth is with us. So go ahead and just sink down and be present with Mother Earth. Feel your whole body just release and relax, coming into this now moment. In this now moment, you're safe. And you have everything you need. So many people on the planet are living in a continual and perpetual state of anxiety, low-level anxiety. And just give yourself a moment to completely release and relax out of that. Just taking a few deep breaths. And just bring your attention to the area of your heart. This spark of light, this kernel of source, the true truth of who you really are. Just let that light be there in your heart. This is a light of peace and presence and the now. Part of Pluto and Capricorn is a destruction energy of the structures that are no longer working. And just paying attention to this peace that can be found within that process of our society crumbling so it can rebuild in a better way. Perhaps your body is having symptoms of this, breaking down so that it can rebuild in a healthier, better connected way. Just take a few deep breaths and enjoy this deep sense of peace and presence. And can you just allow this breakdown and rebuild structure of structures to happen by knowing that we've got to, in order to go to our appropriate timeline and higher level vibrations that are coming into the planet, we as humans need to receive these energies and allow them to be present. These energies, we've been programmed to fear them, fear spiritual ascension and evolution. And that's all a lie. What these energies are bringing us is joy and connection. And so go ahead and let yourself feel that in your heart. Can you allow joy and connection in your life? And just imagine you can breathe that in, into breathing in air, light, and prana into each cell of your body, just breathing in that light. And once you feel that lightness and that joy that's available beyond all the chaos and the stories, send an energetic wave out to your soul group to remind them that this is what it's for. This is who we are. And the matrix is just an idea that's kept us in prison. But the truth is so much bigger and so much more powerful. And go ahead and feel your sisters and brothers around the planet who are opening their heart to this higher level joy beyond all of the stories in the matrix, and that we can amplify this together right here, right now, as we build this new world, as we take our place as a pillar of light between heaven and earth. And allow this joy, energy, and everything's working against lightness of being or positive attitude right now. That's just the way it is. But is it all happening? Can we use it as an opportunity to claim that joy and peace regardless of what's happening around us? And go ahead and just enjoy this moment of joy. Let your heart well up with the hope and the trust of a better future while you're here on the planet. And connect it out to your soul group all over the world. Holding the planet in love, harmonizing these changes. And just breathing in air, light, and prana into your heart. And the exhale, reaching out even more to your soul team as you hold the earth in harmony, your own body in harmony, grounded and in communication with Mother Earth through these changes. And just giving yourself as long as you can in this moment of peace and presence and joy. Think of something really great that gives you joy. Maybe a child or a puppy or your animals, nature, a beautiful day. And let that energy fill up your heart so full that you exhale it out around the whole planet with everyone else claiming their joy at this most crucial time. Just go ahead and stay here in this union, in this peace, in this joy for as long as you would like. And when you're ready, go ahead and complete your meditation. Well, thank you so much for joining me for day 13 of 21 days of presence. We're really getting there, and we're moving into a whole new chapter, and we're doing it. We're being present. We're coming together and paying attention to the energies each day to help us move in to the next season, which will be very different and will not require, the presence will just be kind of programmed into our field. We can find this presence as we move forward. And just, it's like we're having a landing, and it's a little bit rocky of a landing. And that's why energetically I was called to do these 21 days of presence. And here we are at day 13, moving right along into that next chapter, ready to go one foot in front of the other in peace and harmony and love, and most importantly, joy. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow for day 14. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.